Hi everyone, it's Carrie from Live Accessible, and this video are some excerpts from the live stream I did the other day of the impact of blindness tag. And if you want to watch the whole video, check out the link down in the description or in the YouTube cards. And without further ado, here are those excerpts.
Right. Okay, so now that there's plenty of people here, I wanted to do the impact of blindness tag that Cindy from Seeing Blind, she tagged me while we were kind of while I wasn't doing YouTube videos. And I just saw her Instagram post the other day, and I thought, hey, why don't I go ahead and do a live stream and do the tag that she tagged me on, and and have a little fun and say hello to everybody since we just came back. So let's see. The first question is, what is your eye condition? So in my case, I have something called aniridia, which is the lack or partial lack of the iris. So what's interesting is they say that I don't have an iris, but if I did, it would be blue, which is really cool for somebody who's has black hair and is Filipino. I always thought that would be so cool to have blue eyes. But when they take pictures of my eye, which is really hard because of my nystagmus, you can see like a little tiny blue edge, which is really cool. Aniridia also, you can have a lot of other conditions with it, like cataracts and glaucoma. You could even have like something called Wilms tumor or Wagner syndrome, but I don't have those. I just have cataracts and glaucoma. And so let's go to question number 2. Is your eye condition progressive or stable? Aniridia can be progressive. Because I have glaucoma, it's something that the doctors have to monitor, and you can lose your vision if your pressure goes high enough. But right now it is pretty stable, and things can always change. Things can always turn progressive, which I hope not, but it's okay. However, whatever happens, happens, and you just find adaptations for it. Number 3 is, does your vision fluctuate from day to day? For the most part, my vision stays the same. There can be days where it does fluctuate if my eye pressure is high. If my eye pressure is too high, it actually can cause like this white film to go over my eyes or like my vision. So it's kind of like looking through wax paper almost. Not exactly. It's a little bit more translucent than that, but I remember when I was younger, I started to have these headaches, and it was in high school. I think I was in 9th or 10th grade, and I thought I was having migraines. I went to the neurologist and everything, and it ended up being glaucoma headaches, and all I was seeing was like that white film, and it was pretty terrible, guys. But other than that, it doesn't really fluctuate. Let's see what number 4 is. Name 3 positive qualities or personality traits that being blind has fostered in you. Well, I was listening to the person who actually created this tag, which is Joy Who, and you guys just check out her channel. But I would say patience. I think I have a lot more patience if things don't always go my way, or if I have to wait. Like sometimes here, the paratransit, when I used to take it, I don't really take it anymore, especially now. But you would wait for, it could be 30 minutes, it could be 20, it could be 5, but it could be like an hour. And so I think I've just become more patient. Not all the time, but I try to. Let's see. So patience is 1. I'll copy the other people and say resilience, because there have been times where people judge you because you're blind, or sometimes the world is just unfair and they pick somebody else, or they just don't think that you're able. That's one thing that really bugs me, that just because you're blind, they think that you can't do something, um, or they make fun of you. I did get bullied in school quite a bit, but you learn to pick yourself up and just keep going, because if you don't, you know, you'll just end up being depressed. You just have to keep going, and no matter what people say, no matter what they do, you do your own thing and you do you, and you can no don't let anybody tell you that just because you're blind you can't do something. And I guess that's also part of determination. you know I'm always determined to prove people wrong, especially when they think that I can't do something. I'm like, well then I definitely will do it because just to prove them wrong. So I guess patience, resilience, and determination. Question 5. What is one way being blind makes your life better? It definitely makes it more interesting. um, I do like to talk to people, so when I do talk to them, I can always make it something interesting because, there are those questions that come up, like, what can you see? Or how, what exactly is your condition? And I like to answer those when I'm in the mood anyway. I do like to talk to them. I like to connect with people and hear their side of the story. And I think that because of my blindness, I can be pushed out more socially, um, because I tend to be much more introverted, and if I can, I'll just hide. I'll just, like, not get out probably. And this is kind of backwards. I think a lot of the time, sometimes blind people don't want to get out, but in for me, I tend to be the opposite. Because I'm blind, when I am in the store or when I am out and somewhere, I because of the blindness, because I've learned that skill, I can approach people more and I'm more comfortable with it. And I was pushed to do so, especially in college when I was in the campus when I was younger. And because of my job previously, I got pushed into talking to people, and I just think that if I wasn't blind, I probably wouldn't be like that. Question 6. What is one way being blind makes your life more challenging? Wow. Okay, so I want to copy everybody else who has done this tag and talk about driving and how, you want to have that independence to just get up and go. And that is also my answer, but do want to, like, add on to that because I don't want to just look like I'm copying other people. I would say it's harder to keep track of my son, um, or just things in general. Like, if I hear a lot of things going on, and sometimes, or like people walking around and doing things, I get kind of nervous because I can't see their face. I don't know what they're doing or if they're being friendly. It's harder to tell that, to judge them, especially at a distance. I mean, if you're talking to them, it's easier to do that. But if you're at a playground, before this whole pandemic started, when we're at a playground, I don't really know what people are doing, so it's harder for me to watch my son, or I feel more stress or anxious about watching him and taking care of him and just making sure that he's safe. And that's something that I wish I could do. I wish I could see far enough, but and see, like, what people are doing, because of my son, and also because I'm nosy and I'm curious. Like, I want to know what my neighbor is doing in their backyard, or, something like that. I'm sure that I'm not the only one curious about what other people are doing and wish you could see what they're doing. And let's see, number 7. What is an experience or opportunity that you have had because of your blindness? Probably just this YouTube channel, even, and connecting with all of you guys. It's really, for me, I love this YouTube community with all the different channels, like, the Blind Life and Kayla with the C, Blind Billionaire, Juan from JC5 Productions, and like all the in James Rath. I just love this YouTube channel, and I mean, I wouldn't have been able to be part of this community if I wasn't blind. And I just really like connecting and hearing from you guys and learning from everybody, because I don't know everything. um, I I get excited when somebody tells me something that I didn't know, and I think that's so cool. And we can learn from each other, and I really like that. Number 8. What is one thing you wish you could do that being blind makes it hard for you to do? Well, I think that the other question about what blindness makes more challenging, that plays into it. Just driving. I really wish that I could drive. And really, actually, it doesn't even matter if I personally drive. I don't I've never driven, so I don't really care about the physical action of driving. I just want to be able to get from one point to another, to go where I want to go, whether that's Uber. Well, except you can't do that now, and it's also expensive. But also, if it's like an autonomous vehicle, that would be so cool. But that'd be kind of scary if it's like one of the first generations, so I'll probably wait, and then you'll probably have to pay half your life for like being able to use one. There's a lot of things that, can be more difficult, but there's a lot of adaptations. Like, I use a magnifier all the time, or even Ira or Be My Eyes. I guess just doing that. Oh, you know what I do wish I could do more of? Like reading. I love reading, and I wish I could read faster. Like, I mean, you can use a screen reader or even do audiobooks, but I don't know how sighted people can do it, but they can just skim and find things so quickly. Like my mom, if I need something read to me, like I can't find the address on the page, no matter if I have a magnifier. I'm like, where is the fax number or something? And she's like, oh, it's right there. And I'm like, how do you find that? Number 9 is, what is something you can do that surprises people who don't know you? That I can make videos, that I can, oh, and that I can play the flute. um, I have played the flute since I was in 3rd grade. And I don't know how there can be a connection between being legally blind and playing the flute, but sometimes people are like, you play the flute? How can you play the flute? But I do a lot of memorizing things. I don't play as much really now, and I do a lot of things just by ear. But I do like playing the flute, and that does surprise people. Or just like making websites. I'm not that great at it, but I remember there was one person that was in top management in my old job, who didn't know me, and I had made like this web page for some of the department that I was working for, and I made like a kind of like little website, just with the instructions like of a new system that we were using, and he was like, "Did you make that?" And he couldn't believe, or it just boggled his mind that I made it. So let's see. Question 10 is, if you had the chance to tell the sighted community one thing, what would it be? Does it have to be one thing? Why does it have to be one thing? Can't I tell them a lot of things? Okay, so I would probably tell them not to underestimate people who are blind. Don't judge us just because of our blindness, and don't think more or less of us because we're blind. Judge us from who we are and not because we're blind. So that's something that I think is very difficult to understand, because sometimes, like the other people that were doing this tag were talking about, they either think that we're a victim, which we aren't, but neither are we heroes. Just because, like, one time Pablo was walking down, like the sidewalk, and like this sighted person came up to him and, oh, it's amazing that you can walk down the sidewalk and get to the door. And I'm like, are you serious? You know, unless you really, well, at least for me, unless I do something that is, you know, astounding or out of the ordinary for a normal person, don't judge me and say that that's amazing. But don't underestimate me, and don't think that I can't do something just because I'm blind. And hopefully that makes sense.
Thanks for watching. If you want to see the whole live stream, you can click or tap on the top left video or in the description. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for more videos on technology and encouragement for people who are blind and visually impaired. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.